Hey, this is JP with Central Idaho Mountain Weather. It's August 14th, 2025, talking about the rock fire up in Tamarack ski area. It's just encroaching on that as of yesterday. This is a photo that Rachel and Nicole took of the snow guns blasting right now out water to try to lower or raise that humidity level and keep the fires at bay. And if you're enjoying this broadcast, we ask you to do a one-time donation, or even better, sign up for that sustaining monthly membership. If you're new to the channel, we talk about fires here, mostly weather, but we talk about fires when there's not really any other weather happening. So yesterday, this is a satellite grab I took of the smoke. The left plume is the rock fire. The one on the right is the Elkhorn fire over the Middle Fork. We're going to just focus on the rock fire today. They hit it with heavy aviation yesterday. They had a bunch of air tankers on it, 3 large ones, 1 very large one, 4 water scoopers. You can see some of those right here. And I think they had five helicopters, and 6 single engine air tankers. So tons of resources put on this fire. There are a lot of people's homes nearby this and the ski resort, and they have this really big source of water next to it. So let's kind of get into this. So on August 12th, there was a thunder shower that came through, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 lightning strikes that started fires here. All these fires are now lumped into the rock fire. That's now about 2,000 acres. There is a complex incident management team that has been ordered and will arrive on Friday. This is happening on 2 different forests. So we have the Payette Forest to the west of the ridgeline here, and then the Boise National Forest over to the right. So lots of coordination happening with that. And let's kind of get into the nitty gritty. So I think I'm going to pull up. Well, first I'm going to talk about the fire weather that happened yesterday. So after these lightning strikes happened, it was not really a great day. We had some red flag warnings across the state and some increased winds, some gusts up to 25 miles per hour. And this is just at the base of Tamarack. So probably looking like 30 plus mile per hour gusts throughout the day. Relative humidity was not showing it here, but I saw it was in the teens. So not great for fighting fire. That's why they're hitting it real hard with suppression. This is what the infrared mapping showed at 6 p.m. yesterday. Let's pull this up in Google Earth and take a look at it. So, so for those of you who haven't been to Tamarack Resort, I haven't. It's near Lake Cascade. It's to the west of Donnelly, south of McCall. Pretty big or pretty nice ski resort, especially for people coming from Boise. The fire started just to the south of here and were working their way up north, courtesy of lots of timber up there and southerly winds blowing the fire up that way. So our current mapping, I'm going to do an overlay here. So actually, before I do that, I'm going to kind of look at the mountain this way. So we have the Tamarack Ski Resort here, the ski runs. I put a couple of runs here, and I'll show you in a second here as I overlay this map. So this is the current fire boundary. It's just getting into the Upper Bliss run. They're probably going to be using that as a fire line to cool that off with the snowmaking guns. And there's a couple of spot fires that happened either last night or through the night in between Lower Showtime and Blaze. And you can see it's just starting to creep into the ski resort proper. Now, for tactics that they're using, I'm going to zoom out of this again. So we have some Forest Service roads over here. They're using this one not going to show me. 3436A. They're going to use this road as a fire break here. So what they're probably going to be doing, they have a bunch of hotshot crews up there. They're probably going to be taking out dead on the backs on the higher side of this, throwing all that fuels on the eastern side, the side behind it, and try to create a little bit of a fuel break there so they can protect all these values here, which I'm guessing are all summer, winter homes here for people that are skiing at the resort. So that's going to be how they're protected on the eastern front here. They'll probably use Bliss, Upper Bliss, and Lower Bliss as a fire break here. And then have hotshot crews, I'm imagining we're working through the night to try to contain these spots that are flaring up ahead of the fire. Now, they were dumping water and fire retardant on this thing yesterday. I mean, there were so many planes in the sky. It must have been chaotic flying around there with all the smoke. But they are also going to be utilizing these two spots here, which I'll zoom in on. So we got Poison Creek here, and there's another creek here. These are portable tanks that they're probably drafting from the creek and filling up these big tanks for the helicopters to then have quicker access to come here and then put out the fire that way. Zoom out again here. And you can see we have a huge resource here of water. So that's where they're using those super scoopers that come across the water surface, scoop up water, fly out, and then dump ahead of the largest flames to try to suppress that. So they had 4 of those yesterday. Great resource having the lake right here. And yeah, that's kind of current state right now. Other things I want to talk about with this fire is the current weather we're going to be having today. So we'll look at the winds, gusts throughout the day. We have a shortwave trough that's working its way to the south of the area today. So we're not going to see any thunderstorms right over where the fire is, but we could see some increased gusts throughout the day, more so like 20 miles per hour, so not as much as yesterday, and the winds are going to die off. In the afternoon or evening, we're going to have some winds pick up to the west, but it doesn't look like it's going to progress over the fire, so we'll see what happens with that. Now, relative humidity, how dry it is out there, we're going to be in the low 20s today. So this is going to be peak heating. We're going to be just in maybe even the teens, 20s, so that's not going to help. It is going to be a couple degrees cooler, so we'll see how that helps out. Now, looking at smoke forecast, you're waking up to smoky skies over there as the winds pick up today. I think Chalice is going to be getting quite a bit of smoke. And then just south of Salmon, you can see that plume really building, like that satellite image I showed yesterday. We're going to have those plumes building again today. This is a forecast, so we'll see what happens with that. But you can see this is the rock fire, and this is the Elkhorn fire blowing up again today. So shouldn't see any thunderstorms over this fire. There is some moisture on the way this weekend. I'll give an update on that as it gets closer.